So is it possible that intermittent fasting or eating one meal a day has completely destroyed your metabolism? The answer is possibly, but that's alright. In this video, I'm going to talk you through what might be going on and what you can do about it. Now, my journey has been pretty simple. For the last 12 months, I've been doing just one meal a day, and I lost some weight initially, but I'm certainly at a point where I've kind of reached a stasis and I'm maintaining the same weight. And it's got me thinking, have years and years of yo-yo dieting affected my metabolism? And has fasting made that worse or better? In order to understand that question, first you need to look at what are the three main types of diet. Now, there's heaps of different things that people are going to be out there spruiking and marketing, but essentially, in order to lose weight, you have to restrict calories, and the three most common ways of doing that are restricting one type of macro, for example, restricting carbohydrates, restricting fat. So diets are things like the ketogenic diets, carnivore, and to a lesser extent, paleo. The second type of diet is just general calorie restriction. So this is where you're not really concerned with restricting any one type of macro, but you're aiming to get your calories lower so that you're in a deficit. The final types of dieting are not really diets, they're time-restricted eating patterns. But again, the outcome of these is that you end up with a net caloric deficit. So typically when we diet, whether you're doing calorie restriction, macro restriction, or time restriction, you're aiming for a deficit to lose weight. And often people want to have quick results. So we end up putting those calories really, really unsafely low. In some instances, and I'm guilty of this myself, and you can check my other videos, as low as 500 calories a meal, sometimes a sustained period of 800 calories or less per day. And over time, that's great to have a result in terms of immediate weight loss, but you're basically telling your body that you're starving. And when you're starving, you actually slow down your metabolic rate. Think about it like this. If you're out there in the wild and legitimately in peril and starving because you had no food and very little water, your body's going to slow down your metabolic function as low as possible. Think about it like this. When your phone battery starts to go low, you get a little warning that says 20% battery power left. Would you like to go on battery restriction mode? Think of your metabolism like a battery, and your body is as smart as an iPhone. So when you get calories so low for so long, your body's actually forcing itself into a battery saving mode or a metabolic saving mode. And therefore, you'll sort of slow down your metabolic rate so that you're not burning too many calories, and that'll help you survive for longer because your body thinks you're out there in the wilderness still. It doesn't recognize that you're living in 2023. And because our bodies like to stuff with us, as soon as food's available again, you're going to eat it and you're going to convert that food straight to fat because you're in survival mode. And your body thinking, well, I've been in this period of starvation, now food's abundant again, I have to sort of hold on to as much of these calories as I can. So logic would say, I've lost all this weight, why can't I just go back to my normal way of eating? Well, actually, you've crashed your metabolism through the floor. When you try to go back to your normal method of eating, your body's going, woohoo, I'm not starving anymore, but I've got to make sure I store all this energy again in fat so that if I start starving again, at least I got some backup. Your body's the son of a bitch, really. But there is a way to prevent you from having this particular response, this yo-yo response when you're dieting. You can still maintain a caloric deficit without driving your metabolism into the floor. And in particular, you can do this on OMAD or other diets as well, whether those are macro restrictions or otherwise. What you need to be thinking about is what is your maintenance calories, and there are plenty of calculators out there. The maintenance calories is the key. You don't want to be looking for the recommended caloric deficit so that you can lose weight, because some of these have been calculated at very aggressive rates. Once you figure out your maintenance calories, you really want to shoot for no more than 500 calories less than maintenance calories, and typically that would be only about 20% less than maintenance calories would be sufficient. Now that amount of deficit will allow you to be losing weight at a rate that's sustainable without destroying your metabolism. My own maintenance calories would turn out to be around 1900 to 2100 calories. So for me to achieve that ideal deficit, I want to be hitting at least 1400 calories a day. Now doing just one meal a day, it actually can be quite hard to hit that amount of maintenance calories, particularly if you've cut out all snacking and cheat meals throughout the day, which is why it's such an effective form of calorie restriction. So here are some tips so that you can ensure you're hitting your calories and not driving your metabolism through the floor. So in my example, I'd be looking for a very protein-rich diet. I won't be cutting out carbs or fats because they're an important part of a balanced diet. They'll help me keep those calories towards the level that I need them to be at to keep my metabolism ticking over. So we know protein's an essential building block for muscle mass. Without protein, you won't be able to create new muscles or grow your muscles. So you have to have protein. But all food and all macros have what's called a thermic effect of food. So for all foods that you eat, you actually burn calories digesting them. In this case, protein has a really high thermic effect. So by having more protein in your diet, you're actually ramping that metabolism up as well. So in order for me to hit my ideal calories, I'm going to be focusing on a balanced diet, including fat and carbohydrates. I am going to be eating once a day because I do intermittent fasting and OMAD, and I'm going to be trying to keep that protein really high. And moving forward, I'll be trying to hit at least 1,400 calories a day so that my deficit isn't crashing my metabolism through the floor. I hope you take this advice, and I hope that you have some success in whatever type of diet you're doing. Thanks guys, see you in the next one.